Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, and if you are a Teal College student in one of my classes, Professor Peg Watts, Media Studies, then you're in the right place. You're at the right channel. If you're not, you're going to want to probably, go somewhere else because this is an online substitute for in-person, face-to-face instruction for several different classes in the Teal College Media Communications Department here in Greenville, Pennsylvania. And therefore, if you're not in one of those classes, this could be irrelevant to you and maybe a little tedious and boring. I'm going to try to make it not that way for my students though. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. The rest of you, students, you stay. Okay, so, I know, this is weird. I get it. And I also understand that none of you signed up to go to school online for various reasons. This wasn't your delivery of choice. Me either. I prefer to teach face-to-face too, but there are some really good parts about learning online. And one of the good things that you all should know is that we've been utilizing these distance and remote learning techniques without you really knowing that's what it was. All along, if you've been in my class and you've used Moodle, then we're halfway there. You're going to be okay. But I do get it. It's weird. I get that it's a weird time and you have a lot of concerns and questions about how things are going to go. How are we going to accomplish group work? Radio broadcast students are probably wondering how you're going to accomplish your broadcast component for the class. The rest of you, we've already sort of talked about your final projects and how they are going to be group projects, and we're going to get to, as time goes on, how we're going to work all of that out. It's going to happen. So you should know that not only have I been a student online myself when I lived in Arizona and I taught at a reservation in Mojave Valley, I took some certifications through Northern Arizona University, NAU, and that was Flagstaff, and I lived in a town called Bullhead City and like 200 miles from NAU, so had to do all my coursework in distance learning. Some of it was a classroom setting at the community college where they had a two-way television and you could see the NAU campus class and they could see us, and the instructor just treated us both and we could raise our hand and ask questions in real time. And we met like a traditional class, and that was kind of cool. It was different. You got how to get used to that, but it was cool. And then some of it was what we're doing right now. Only it's easier and a little bit better now. And like I said, we've already been doing some of this when you've been downloading or uploading things onto Moodle and doing assignments that are Moodle based and all that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about how all of that's going to work in a minute here. Yeah, welcome to my office. It's in the third floor of our house. It used to be the attic, so yes, technically my family keeps me in the attic. They feed me well though. But no, this is our bedroom suite, our master suite. So part of it is built out as an office, and there's an area way over there that's got a sleeping area and a sitting area for television, a nice window seat, and looking out over beautiful downtown Meadville. Reggie's here. Reggie's on his bed. Hey, Reggie, come here. Come say hi to everyone. Come. Hi, Reggie. Come. Hi. Hi, Bubba. Did I wake you up? Did I wake you up? I need to tell you something. Come here. Come. In. Sit. Guess what? Our friends are watching us on video right now. You say hello? No, they don't have cookies. You can't get their cookies. But anyway, Reggie's bed is right over there, and he's usually pretty comfy around here. And you may see an occasional cat streak by. The gray one will be Delilah, and the black one will be Scarlet. Sometimes Greyhound might come trooping through. Can't control those things either. Sometimes I'll be making my lecture videos from here. and sometimes I'll be doing it in my office on campus, depending on restrictions and what we're allowed to do. That's going to kind of make my mind up. But this is a transitional time where we all have to be flexible. Remember, I've told you guys this every semester. If you've had me in previous years or previous semesters, you've heard me say this till you're probably sick of hearing me say it. You've got to be flexible. And I usually say that referring to my syllabus, which is just like, that's out the window right now. Not really. I'm just modifying things for online, but yeah. So this is one of those reasons why you've got to be flexible. You don't know. Everybody's having to adapt right now. Everybody's having to do things a little bit differently than they did them before. Things are being canceled, things are being reworked, how they're going to be carried out. So everybody's kind of in the same boat. We don't have all the answers that we'd like to have right now. They're coming. I just think we have to be patient and take things a week at a time and see how things go. So we're scheduled to do these online classes until April 3rd, at which time, so far, the plan is to come back to campus on that day. I'm sure administration has all sorts of plan Bs and Cs, and they're making their decisions based on what the Pennsylvania Department of Health is saying and what Middle States Accreditation feels is the right thing to do, so that you can get the learning experience that you need while you're safe. And the learning experience that you expect to be able to finish this semester. And so I know that some of you who are getting ready to graduate are concerned, like, how is this going to affect me? How's it going to affect commencement? We don't know that yet. And so worrying about it is kind of useless. It's right now, just kind of got to take things one day at a time and, again, be flexible, because nothing is engraved in granite except your tombstone. Probably a wrong analogy at this point, or metaphor. Is that a metaphor or an analogy? I don't remember right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's different, right? It's different for the faculty too, for instructional staff. We have designed our classes so that they'll be delivered face-to-face, and that has some parameters around it and some liberties and some restrictions. So, you know, but that's the way that we've designed delivering this material, whatever the material is to you. So we have to all rethink how we're gonna get you guys the information that you need to have to be proficient through this class and pass it and have actually gotten something valuable out of it. And so we're a work in progress too. We're figuring all of this out. Let's figure it out together. But just, you know, again, we've been doing a lot of this with the work that we've done on Moodle. And when you think about it with group projects, you guys have been doing this anyway. You all remotely connect to each other. Even if you're sitting in the same room with each other, you text to each other. In my day, we just passed notes and then got in trouble and kicked out of the classroom. But yeah, you guys, you know, you text to communicate about things that you need to get accomplished. You have certain apps that you use to coordinate projects and meetings, like Meetup and things like that. You use them regularly anyway. The only time that you really meet together to physically face-to-face pull a project together is when I give you that day in the library right before presentation. So, you know, for me, that's sort of more to get you in line with the presentation part of it. However, if you're delivering a group project online, not much presentation involved, not physical presentation involved in that. So don't really need that. And you can still pull some of these things together. So that being said, stay in your same learning groups that you're in. For those of you in my classes that have them, radio broadcast production, I'm aware that there's still a broadcasting component to this course, and it's being taken care of too. There's a service, internet radio service called Live 365. It's not very expensive. I'm going to talk to Dr. Woody about it tomorrow. I kind of mentioned it to him the other day. He thought it was doable. It would allow us to have a radio station that's internet only called, and we would just call it WXTC Online. And within that radio station, you can make multiple playlists, and then you can even schedule when each playlist is going to rotate throughout the 24 hours of play that anybody could just drop in and listen to. So you have songs on your phone, I know you do, or on your computer, on your devices, other devices. You have MP3s that you guys get of your own stuff. As long as it, well, you know what, if it's internet radio, we'll have to talk about that. I don't know whether or not profanity is going to actually be an issue because we're not dealing with the FCC online. So radio broadcast production, I'll get back to you about that. Don't get too carried away, but I think that the rules could be loosened up a bit. And you can voice record on your phone and upload that file too to Backcell and Frontcell. So it could be done. It could be done. If you could use Spotify, you could do this. So you can use Spotify, you could do this. So it just requires creative problem solving and thinking a little bit outside the box of normal. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure I touch on the things that I want to get across to you. So again, you know, I know that one of the things that taking a class online concerns students about is how much contact do they get to have with their professor. Like, that's one of the reasons that you probably chose to come to a small college like ours, is because you get to have those personal relationships, that interpersonal interaction with fellow students, with the staff that works on campus, with the faculty on campus. You get to have those relationships, and they're positive and they're helpful, and you feel connected because of it, and I get that. So I will be checking my mail Monday through Friday 6 times a day. On the weekend, I'll check it 3 times a day because I get to have a weekend too every once in a while. Just at least part of a weekend would be good, but I will definitely keep that in mind. Also, under this video, you can post a comment or a question. In fact, I would like you to take notes, stop for a minute, think, stop. What did I say? Post a comment under this video just to start getting used to it. You guys use YouTube for all kinds of other things. I'm sure you post comments under things that you follow and watch and subscribe to on YouTube. So you're going to subscribe to this station. You're going to click the bell icon for notifications. I don't care if you hit the like button or not. You can if you want to, but just so you could stay notified about changes to this channel. Within the channel, there are going to be 3 playlists. One for introduction to communication, one for popular music as mass communication, and one for radio broadcast production. And I'm going to be posting a weekly video, at least 1, maybe 2. It depends on how much content we have to get through. And I will let you know through email. So that's another thing. Check your email. Like, check your email now. Everybody needs to be in the habit of checking their email on a regular basis, a few times a day. If I've got to check mine 6 times a day, no one's told me to, but I feel like that's the right amount to be able to see if people have pressing concerns, things that they need addressed right then. If I got to do it, you got to do it too. You know, email is part of the adult world, and in online learning, it's essential. It's how the professor communicates to the whole class all at once. And, you know, through Moodle, it's how I communicate to the whole class about something that's coming up or something that's due or a change. So check your email several times a day. It's going to be important. And make sure on this channel that you subscribe and that you hit the notification bell thing so that you can get updates when they happen. So underneath this video, comment, say hello, and let me know what kind of things are going well for you right now in spite of the fact that we're under so many restrictions. I want to hear positives, like what kind of good things are happening right now. It's good to see your nieces and nephews, or your brother or your mother, or sleep in your own bed, or it's sunny today. Anything, I want to hear something positive. So we're going to try to work hard on keeping this positive, because that's what's going to help us not have a miserable experience with any of this. Again, it's not what you signed up for. I get it. It's going to be okay though. Yeah, you can actually learn a lot more in different ways online, and you do this regularly anyway. You watch YouTube videos all the time, and you learn about things that you're interested in on the internet, either by researching it or going to websites, things like that. So this is not that far of a stretch. It's just utilizing all of these tools for a specific purpose, and that's completing your coursework for the semester, or at least for the next few weeks. Like I said, we're supposed to come back on April 3rd, and then we can wrap up some loose ends and try to figure out what we're going to do with finals. I'll have a plan by then and figure out how we're going to carry out finals, how you're going to get caught up to be able to complete that work. But you can start to do some of it online, so it's all going to work out. Everything is going to work out. Just repeat that mantra. Everything is always working out. Everything is always working out. Okay, so also have, I'm going to be changing some of the weights in my grade book. For instance, participation is only 5% of your total grade. However, when you're learning online, participation is more important. In other words, interacting in things like forums, commenting, giving feedback, things like that matter a lot more in online learning. That's the way that you get engaged. So in the class, and that's it's an important component to it. So the value of that's going to go up. Attendance, on the other hand, is a whole different scenario online, and we're going to talk about that in a second too. So the value for attendance will go down because it's not physical attendance, but there is going to be attendance. And we're going to be having class meetings at our regular time. Whatever time your class is with me, if it's Tuesday, Thursday at 9:30 in the morning, if it's Tuesday, Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m., you will check in to Moodle at the top of that hour, at the beginning of the class time, at 9:30, whatever it is that the start time is, to a chat feature that I will have quite obviously on that page. And I'll email each class and let you guys know where to find the chat feature for your class. I'm going to leave that chat feature open in the beginning of the class for 5 minutes, so maybe I'll do 10 minutes. I'll give you 10 minutes from like the beginning of class into class time. And I will give you time to check in with me for attendance. Once I see you in the chat, I'll mark you as present for class, and then I will see if you have any immediate questions that need to be answered right there. So there you go. There's another way that you can be sure that you have contact with me. Also, I'm going to designate online office hours, so I'll open that chat feature in your class when I've decided that I'm going to hold my online office hours. It might be Wednesday from 10 to 11, or Tuesdays from 9:30 to 10:30, or Thursdays from 2:30 to 3:30, and leave that open so that if you have questions or problems or you need some direction, I'm accessible to you just like I would be if I were in my office. So anyway, looking through my notes a little bit, I said we could still do group work, and it's going to not be difficult to figure that out. All right, so the structure of the class is, like I said, we're keeping our times. If you are at Teal's campus on this coming Wednesday, and you're in our Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, where you would be is in that class at 10 a.m. So I expect that you're going to keep that same time frame going even though you're home. And the reason for this is consistency and structure. This is a really weird time right now. Everything is in flux, and it's important to have some things that remain consistent. So the class times for our meeting times are going to remain consistent. Even though you're home, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily free to go and work for the next few weeks. and sort of drop into these online courses. If you went to Southern New Hampshire University and you signed up for online education, distance education, they are designed that way, and then it's geared toward another audience. It's geared toward another demographic. It's usually parents or non-traditional older students, vets, people who have jobs and can't make traditional learning times. You all can make traditional learning times, and that's what this next block of time is still for. The next bunch of weeks is still about being at school. You're not home to have fun and hang out. I mean, I hope you have fun. I hope you get to hang out, but that's not why you're home. You're still going to be learning. You're still going to be actively engaged in school, and we're still going to get our coursework done, and we're still going to show up for class on time, check into the chat stream with me, and then we'll take attendance, and I'll give you guys directions for that day, that week, whatever. We'll go from there. So, going to be doing that. So chat is very important. So remember, whenever class starts, whatever your class start time is, every day of that class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30, 2:30, 10 a.m., whatever your class start time is, you check into Moodle, you find the chat stream, it's going to be obvious, you click on it, you say hello, you ask me questions if you have any, you wait for a few minutes and see that everybody shows up, maybe I'm going to have some directive for you, then I'm going to tell you all that you can disband, that class is dismissed for that moment, for that moment in time. There's still going to be things though that you're going to need to do. So coming back to this YouTube channel and finding the playlist for your specific course is going to be something that you have to do. And then finding the lecture that I direct you to view is going to be the next thing that you have to do. And probably within that video, there are going to be instructions for an activity or an assignment or an exercise that you have to carry out either that day or within 2 days or something like that, and I'll let you know. So all these things we're going to work out, but this is the master plan. This is the big plan, right? This is the framework, all of it. So just like before, when we were meeting traditionally, you're going to have assignments that you need to check on Moodle and submit things to Moodle in the same way with the same links that you always have. Under each week block, there'll be different things. So in this week's block, there'll be a link to the video channel. In this week's block, there will be a forum discussion that's open. And that's going to lean on participation. So again, remember, I'm kind of taking emphases off on some things and putting stronger emphasis on other things like participation. So a forum is what we did with the internet for social media or, socialization online before there were chat rooms or Facebook or WhatsApp, TikTok, Twitter, any of these other things. Even before MySpace, there were forums, and the forums were basically bulletin board discussion boards where someone would start a discussion topic and people would add their own discussions underneath it. And you have the ability within the forum to read everybody's discussion that they post and comment. So you're going to be expected to read through everybody's post, make a post yourself underneath my initial posts, and we'll go to it when it gets time for me to do the video for your specific class. That first video is going to be all about how the forum works, in case you just haven't done it before. And then you're going to respond to two people's posts. So if I have like a broad topic and then someone posts something, somebody else posts something, because you're all required to do this, it's part of your now online learning, somebody else posts something, somebody else posts something. Among those people, you have to respond to at least two people's posts in order to get credit for participation. That's how that's going to go. Other things are going to be added into each week's block, like normally are. Supplemental learning videos that are like, especially you pop music as mass communication. You know I'll be adding some music videos and things for you to look at and think about and answer questions about and that kind of thing. So, you know, those things will be there along with maybe any exercises like think response things or along with quizzes maybe that we might have to have. And so, you know, I'm hoping that all of this doesn't go on any longer than it needs to, but you know, keep in mind, like, it takes more than our government or, you know, institutional agencies to make a thing like this get better. It takes common sense on our part, like you, me. We have to follow some of the protocols that they're calling for, like washing hands and using hand sanitizer and staying out of public gatherings, going to the movies, eating out in a limited way. They're even asking restaurants to reduce the capacity of their restaurants so people aren't right on top of each other. We have, as a species, lived through the Black Plague, and our hygiene was very bad and many people died. So we know, have good hygiene. We learned that lesson as a species, right? Okay. We lived through the Spanish flu. And, you know, a couple of things happened when that came up. It was at the end of World War II, information about the Spanish flu was suppressed to protect the war effort. And people still gathered in large gatherings, masses of their St. Patrick's Day parades and all these other things that were going on. And that's how it spread, and it was so deadly. You know, back then they didn't have antibiotics and things either, but in 1917 it wasn't 1500s, but still they didn't have the medical interventions that we have now, thankfully. This may have mild symptoms for people, it may have catastrophic symptoms, but whatever it is, if we're gonna restrict the spreading of it and get back to life as usual, right now we have to restrict ourselves and our activities a little bit, modify the way that we do things. You know, practice good social distancing. Even if you really want to hug somebody, maybe don't. Right now, you can hug everybody all you want when this has passed. You know, just practice common sense. Common sense is the thing that's going to bring us through all of this. So, that's what I have to say about getting you guys oriented to this online learning shift. It's not going to be forever. Normalcy will return. Who knows what kind of interesting things will come out of all of this and what we'll learn from it. But for now, let's just make the best out of it. I will email you and let you know when this week's lecture for your class is posted to YouTube. So be looking for that email. It may contain other instructions as well. I'll be checking my email too. But for this week, the assignment load and the lecturing is going to be, well, the lecture will be substantial enough, but I feel like I'm not going to ask you to do too much more than simple stuff online just to sort of get you used to how the structure and the format of all of this is going to be. And then starting next week, we'll really like dive in a little bit deeper to all of this. But for now, that's what I have to say to you. And Reggie misses you. Where are you, Reggie? Oh, you're right down there. Okay. Reggie wishes he was there too because it's kind of boring being at home, and he likes being at Pet House and he loves seeing all of you guys. And you know, I miss you guys too. It's weird, but again, you know, we'll get through this. So have a great rest of your day or evening, whenever it is you're watching this, and see you in the next video.